In our next video in the Getting Started with WeVideo series, we're going to take a look at basic editing. Now, when I say basic, I mean basic, because you have a limited amount of time and we just want to trim our video down to the essentials. So the things I'm going to talk about today are trimming the video, which means that we're going to trim either the beginning of the video or the very end of your video. We're going to talk about cutting a segment out from the middle of your video and then kind of putting two parts together. And then finally, we're going to look at some tips in terms of how to fine tune these edits. So we have three main parts that we're going to go over. So let's get into it. Now, what you're looking at here is our main timeline editing view here. So on the left side, I have all of my media. Notice that this side over here is just our stock media. If I wanted to add something to my edit, I can always go to my media and I can always pick something from there. Or I can add another recording from here, or I can add a voiceover from here by clicking on the narration button. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of this. Now, to get started with my first edit, which is trimming down our video, we're gonna wanna cut out some of this beginning parts of our video, because right here you can see in our preview window that we have the WeVideo kind of like timeline visible. We don't wanna share that with our students. We wanna share what we are presenting from our Google slideshow. So I'm gonna take this playhead. I like to call it the scrubber or the timeline scrubber, but it's officially called a playhead. And I'm gonna move that to where I think I want to begin. So now this is here when I was recording and I was going into Google Slides. No, actually I wanna show you something really cool here. So this is about where I wanna start. You know, if I wanna fine tune this down to like the exact second this change happens, focus your attention down here in the lower right hand corner. This is a zoom slider, and you see there's a minus sign over here on the left and then a plus sign over here on the right. If I take this blue slider button, I can move it and I can zoom in to my recording, and I can fine tune exactly either by moving the playhead, or I can also use the keys on my keyboard. So if I hit my right arrow key, you can see it moves it to the right. If I move my left arrow key, it moves it back to the left. And let's cut it right here. So those are a couple of things that can help you out with editing this document. I'm going to click on this little scissor icon over here in my playhead. So it says split the selected clip at the playhead. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also notice in parentheses there's an S. You can also hit the letter S to do that for you. I'm going to go ahead and click this. And then you can see if I move over here to the left hand side on this clip that I'm going to eventually discard later, if I hit the letter S, it also makes a cut. Right, so you can, whatever works for you the best, you can either click on the scissors or use the letter S. Now, these two clips, I need to get rid of them. Notice they are separated from our main clip. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. I can hit the little trash can icon here to delete it, and there, now it's gone. I can also just hit the delete button on my keyboard, boom, and then that's gone as well. So now if I zoom out and look at my clip, I just have this one big main clip over here. Now, what I need to do as part of this edit, I can see that this edit is about 1 minute and 14 seconds into my video. Well, what I want to do is I want to click on it and I want to actually move it back so that it starts at 0. So there we go. I have made my very first edit, and then it starts, and you can see in the preview window, it starts when I hit full screen on my Google Slide presentation while I was recording. That way you don't get all that junk from the beginning. All right. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna just move my playhead to the end, see if there's anything that I want to get rid of back here. Oh look, I'm back at WeVideo. Maybe we don't want that. So I'll just, this must have been when I hit escape on the slideshow, right? We'll just bring this back over here. And maybe I can zoom in, right, to my edit. Maybe I can use my left arrow to fine tune the exact frame where I want to cut it, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on the scissor icon, right? Or I can hit the letter S, and then it makes a cut. So now I have two different parts. Which part do I want to get rid of? I want to get rid of this end piece. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the little trash can icon to delete that. And now I'm left with my main video. Okay, so here we are. I'm looking at my main video. So I showed you first how to trim the video. Now what I want to show you here is I want to show you how to cut a portion out of your video that's in the middle. So let's see, let's take out, maybe I didn't want to talk, oh, here we go. Maybe I didn't want to talk about the weather. So I'm gonna go ahead and find out where this weather piece starts. I'm gonna move my playhead more to the left. Here we go. We end at Khan Academy. And then let's say, I'm gonna use my arrow keys now. For this weather piece, let's say like the doorbell rang, right? And I wanna get rid of this piece, and I'll just probably do this in a separate lesson or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and start where I ended Khan Academy. I'm gonna clip it here, so it makes a cut. I'm gonna go and find where the weather segment ends, and then I'm gonna move my playhead from the left side to the right side. Let's see here. When do we go here? All right, here's the end of the weather part. I'm gonna go ahead and click the scissor icon again. So I made that cut. So now this whole middle portion over here is all about the weather. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this. So I'm going to go ahead and click the trash can icon, and I got rid of it. Boom, done. But if I look at my whole clip, now I have these two clips. I have the beginning of my main video, and then I have the end. And I have this gap over here. I can either take this clip and then slide it over and then connect the two. If I want to, you can see like if I do it too much, it turns red, it gets angry at me. Or when it's good, it stays green. So I can do something like that. Let me just move this playhead to the side so I can put them together. Another thing I could do is I can take this clip and then I can draw a box over both clips. So I select the two clips over here. And if I right click on the two clips, there's this option called close gaps. This is a really nice feature where I can just like go boom, click that, and then it connects the two together. All right, so now we've taken care of cutting out an unwanted piece of our video. Everything is put together, which is nice, and then we've moved the video clips down to the 0 time marker. Basically, this is ready to go. We have all our clips kind of figured out. And now the last thing I want to show you is how to fine tune it. I know I showed you how to fine tune it with this zoom slider bar over here, but I want to show you something else. A lot of times what we want to do is we want to cut out a part of the video where maybe some distracting noise came up. What we've been doing so far is we've been looking at our image, and then we just knew like, oh, I want to cut that piece out. Like for example, we want to cut out like the whole weather segment because maybe that was botched or there was just a really big interruption during that time. But what happens if it was just something relatively minor, like a child or a pet just kind of got in the way? What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my video portion of my timeline. I'm going to go ahead and click on this little triangle over here. So it says change track height. If I click on this triangle over here, I can see I have 3 different track heights available. So I have a very slim one, which does that. Now it's very difficult to see. By default, we're on the medium size one, but watch what happens when I select the largest of the track heights. I get audio wave files. So what I can do now is I can scrub from left to right. Okay, same way as kind of what I've been doing all along here. And then let's pretend that this was our doorbell. Okay, this was some sort of interruption. Of course, you know, you would hit play over here in your preview and you can listen for it. You'll actually hear where it happened. If this is our doorbell, I'll simply go ahead and click on the scissor icon here to make a cut. I'll go over here to make sure that I have it selected. Okay, before I make that cut, I'm gonna go ahead and click the scissor icon over there to make a cut, and then I can delete. There, just like that. And now I have this gap, so I wanna make sure I close the gaps. Right click, close gaps, boom, done. Well, there you have it. If you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to your building technology coach, or you can reach out to me in Instructional Technology, and I'm here to help. All right, thank you so much and have a great day.